that idea, if you can read, in this case, 12 books a year, 1 book a month, and you pick one thing from each book, that's 12 things that change your marriage.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. That's life-changing.
It is. Yeah, it's like you're going to a marriage conference every month, but from your living room.
Right. And that's both of you. You may not pick up the same thing. So like if you multiply that is crazy. The amount of skills, the things that you can learn in just a month. This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to episode 78, and we are so glad that you're joining us today. We're so proud of you for just making this time investment in your relationship and working on learning and growing, because we believe that, when you're planting those seeds and you're watering them, God's going to grow them. So glad that you're here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Michelle, I want to start off with a question here.
Okay.
Question for you, question for our listeners. Have you ever been out to eat, right?
Oh, yeah.
And had something so good.
Oh, that was in the question.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
No. I mean, that's great. But, as you're eating, you had something so good that you asked yourself, I wonder how they made it.
Yes.
I wonder what's in it.
Yes.
What is the secret sauce?
Secret sauce.
Yeah.
Like the Chick-fil-A one.
Oh, the Chick-fil-A sauce?
You can buy that pre-made. I saw that in the store today. Yeah, totally. And I think there's so many elements to it. One, someone else is cooking it for you, which I think makes it kind of magical in itself.
Yes.
Usually there's a lot of butter involved. I know at Life Group tonight we're going to have burgers, and I know that they just load those buns up with butter. But yeah. I don't know. You're right. There's something that's just special about these meals out to eat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other specific food examples.
I try to do this like when I make food.
Yeah.
Like I try, because I know what goes into it, right?
Butter.
So just butter. Just a log of butter.
Yeah.
I know I try to do this when I eat. Like I try, because I know what goes into it. So like I try to taste like, okay, I know I put like Dijon mustard in here.
Oh, sure.
Can I taste it?
Wow. I feel like that's a really like a connoisseur of the food then. You can start to pull out those different flavor profiles. That's cool.
Yeah, mostly it's to slow down my eating. Oh. If I'm being honest. It just helps me to slow down a little bit. Like, okay, slow down. Try to actually taste what you're eating.
Yeah. But there's something special about eating out. Like we have a place in town called Minerva's, and they have amazing steaks and potatoes and all those things. But if we were to take that same food and make it at home, I don't feel like it would taste the same.
No, that's very true.
There's something secret.
Very
special
much
about
so. And today we're going to share with you the secret sauce.
Wow.
Yes. I know. I'm really excited.
I like this. Okay.
Really excited. So, if you've been around Celebrate Church, you've heard one of our teaching pastors here, Pastor Reed, just amazing.
We love you, Pastor Reed.
We love you, Pastor Reed. Yes. He talks a lot about this concept of this formula for marriage. And it really comes down to what you do daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly.
Okay.
I love this concept so much. And we're just gonna kind of dive into each of these and what you can do in each of those increments and share the secret.
So we are giving our listeners the recipe then. Is that what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah,
we're giving you the recipe to the secret sauce. There are things that you do daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly.
Yes.
Boom. Yes. Follow that. Secret sauce.
Your marriage will be different.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Wow.
Yes.
I feel like this is a really valuable episode today, you guys.
Absolutely. So we're going to start off here daily. Something that you do every single day. Here it is. 2 things, actually. Mm-hmm. 1, pray with your spouse. The second thing to do daily is tell them that you love them.
Yeah, I like that.
So for example, like something that we do, we pray together, I would say probably most nights.
Most nights, yeah.
Before we go to bed, We'll pray about stuff that's on our mind. People that are on our mind, we'll pray for each other. That's been a big part of our daily routine. I mean, we have other prayer times as well.
Yeah. I just saw a statistic. I think it was 4%. Only 4% of couples pray together. I saw it in our devotional that we're doing with our life group. Okay. And I have also heard their statistics, and I don't know the numbers for these, but the percentage of couples that pray together every day compared to the divorce rate is like complete opposite. So like if you're a couple that prays together every day, your divorce percentage would be very, 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 very low.
Yeah.
Because of that daily habit.
Yeah.
Because your heart is changing.
I've seen that too. It's like 1% or something like that. So. It's really low. Where, like if you look at whatever the average is, 40 to 50% or somewhere in that range. And the fact that couples that pray together daily is like next to nothing.
Couples that pray together stay together.
Yes. So daily. The other thing is like I said, saying I love you. This is something that honestly, I think for me there's three things. One, I always say that before I leave the house in the morning. Like that's just, even though like you're still sleeping. I
hear it. And
you hear it.
I receive it, I acknowledge it. I know that you're doing it.
Yes, absolutely. which is amazing. But it's a big deal. It matters, And then the other one that we do is again, typically after we pray, we say I love you.
Before we go to bed.
Yeah.
And when you get home at night or after work too. I feel like we greet each other. It's about how you enter and exit too. Those are really important times to like greet your spouse. And, I've heard it said, Ryan, that, maybe some spouses think, well, I don't need to tell them that every day because they know. Like when we got married, I said, I love you. But it's not something that you get tired of hearing. I will never get tired of hearing my spouse say, I love you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Never. He could tell me a million times. Maybe if she told me literally a million times a day, it might be like, okay, I get it. But I'll never get tired of hearing that because it fills my bucket, my cup, and it's like just such a pleasing sound to my ears to hear that. And I want him to know. And like you said before, we leave the house. If anything were to happen, I want him to know I love him.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think, go ahead.
No, the other thing, and I've shared this before, I also, as part of this will, during the day, at some point, like I have a check-in with you that I will probably say that to you at some point throughout the day.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
And that's, again, I've shared this, I have an alarm set, a reminder set on my phone, and like, hey, check in with Michelle. Like, send a quick message. I love you, an emoji, something along the lines to share my affection. Yeah. And I'll do the same. Our anniversary is 11/11. So usually at 11:11 in the morning, if I just have we have this uncanny ability to just happen to look at the clock when it's 11:11. It happens morning and night. It's the craziest thing, but that is just a reminder. Send Ryan a message. XO, I love you. Even our kids know it. So our son, if it's summertime and it's 11:11 in the, right before lunch, he'll say, Mom, it's 11:11. Text dad. And it's just so cool that they know that. Yeah. We were talking before the show that I think I was driving the other day around 11:11 and I tried to use Siri to text Ryan, and instead of saying, hey, love, it said, hey, Laura. So he got a message, but I didn't want to let the moment pass. So I just, she's like, send the message. And I was like, whatever, just send it. Siri, thanks. Yeah. So you got a message that said, hey, Laura, I love you. Hope your day's going great. But the point was putting the effort in and sending it, and you deciphered it and you knew. So, that's great. So if you want to change your marriage, what do you do daily? You pray with your spouse, tell them you love them. And one more note on the praying together, it will change your heart. If there's something going on, some kind of friction, some,
just callousness, if you start praying with your spouse, it's going to change both of your hearts. It just will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great, Ryan. Okay, so weekly. So we talked about what you're going to do daily. What do you do weekly? Date nights. So we do in different seasons of our life has looked different. We, for a while, our older daughter was home and able to watch our younger son, and that worked great. We'd pay her to watch him. Now he's younger, not really able to be home alone, at least for too long at a time, certainly not at night, maybe in the afternoon. But so it looks a little different. So we'll do lunch dates. We consider our life group kind of a date night too. We'll have dinner, we'll have our life group. We'll do coffee dates, and we just get kind of creative when how we can work that in. But every week we're doing something to connect with each other and just check in. And we appreciate the other night it was my birthday week, and you were doing some special things for me, and I started to talk about work, and you were like, hey, what are you doing? And I started talking about kids, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? So when you're doing these dates, try to avoid work and kid talk. That was something that Tony Bohr had given advice at our church's date night. He said, hey, do date night, whatever it looks like. Maybe for you, that's shopping together, doing errands together at Target or Hy-Vee, groceries or whatever that is. Just do it together with that mindset. This is our date time, and we're not going to talk about work or kids.
Yeah. And I mean, we've shared a lot, Michelle, I think on creativity. We understand time, maybe there's time restraints or something like that, or again, you have kids at home. The point is to be intentional.
Yeah.
Have intentional time. You can make anything a date night. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have a favorite show that you watch, and it's like you do something special, like you have like certain snacks that your spouse likes or something like that, where you can make it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Make it special.
Sure.
Or like a movie night with you and your spouse and do something special. Like,
yeah, after the kids are asleep.
Right.
So easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can turn anything into a date night.
Ryan, I love what you did for my birthday week. And I know that we shared this on last week's show, right? But one of them was a massage night. It was a Monday massage. And I love what Ryan did too. There was a double booking. The massage place put you down twice. So this Monday is massage night too. And so I got 2 weeks of Monday massages, but he just set up a foot soak, one of those little bubbling, foot soak machines. He had some like white grape juice. He had fruit dipped in chocolate for the birthday week. But this week you just had the little foot soak thing set up, my robe, you had my book nearby. And we just talked, and it was a really great date night. Our son was home. He was in bed.
Right.
You gave me a back massage, and it was great. It was super, super sweet. I felt super valued, and we had a chance to talk. It was distraction free.
Yeah.
And that was pretty low cost, for your supplies.
Right.
And it was able to be worked in on a Monday night at, 8:45 or whatever time it was.
Yeah.
So
in our house. Didn't cost much. But it was intentional time set apart, and it was special.
Yeah, and it was effort. We recently did a show on that too. You put effort into it.
Yeah.
And you also gave me a heads up that it was happening, so I could look forward to it. Yeah. And that was really neat too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're on to monthly.
Let's recap as we go. So daily, you're going to pray together and tell your spouse that you love them. Weekly, you're going to go on a date night, and it can be a date afternoon, it can be a date morning, it can be coffee, but you're going to go on a date.
Yeah. Monthly.
Okay.
Read a marriage or parenting book if you have kids together.
Oh my gosh, we crush this one, Ryan.
Yeah, we do.
High five to us.
We do. I think on the surface, this can be intimidating, right? I think a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I'm not a reader. I don't like to read."
I hear that a lot.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a matter a little bit of reframing it. See, I think really this monthly comes down to growth. Growing in, your skills, growing in the tools that you have. And I think what's really interesting about this, Michelle, I'd love your feedback here, but I think growth and like growing is really attractive.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, there's something about we've been going through the Bible recap through the Bible app every day reading. Mm-hmm. And I can say there's something like, and I know that you're doing it like every day. And I see the thought, I see the comments you're putting in, and like the thought that's going through that. And I'm like, wow, like that's really attractive.
Oh, thanks, love.
And I think
likewise.
What it does is it opens up more conversations. It makes your conversations more interesting because you're talking about something that you're both learning, by reading or doing something together to grow.
Yeah.
And it makes your conversations more in depth. It gives you something to talk about.
Yeah.
Thus, I think creating more intimacy.
Yeah, agree. It is attractive when you're working on yourself. You're not complacent, and that's really attractive just to see you wanting to work on yourself to grow. And you think about when we were dating, it's like we were learning all these new things about each other, but I feel like it almost just continues that feeling on when you're continuing to just raise that bar. Maybe that's what it is, that you're raising that bar, and as we grow together, it's cool to see because I think it raises the bar for our marriage.
Yeah.
It makes me want to be better. And we've talked a lot of different professionals and authors and people on our show, and they've said that, one of the key to health really is growing as an individual. And I think that's what it is. We're each getting better individually so that our marriage as a whole can be stronger. And Ryan, I would agree when I see the Bible app updates that you've completed a challenge or a plan or even your comments, it's so cool to see. And I just think, wow, that's my husband. He's investing in his, spiritual journey because that matters to him and it matters to our marriage. So, thanks for saying that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it increases your conversation. It makes things more interesting. Mm-hmm. Which, I think, again, as a result, I said it, I think it increases your intimacy because now you're having in-depth conversations, you're sharing things, you're sharing, maybe that emotional intimacy a little bit more because you're learning stuff together.
Right.
And I think if you kind of reframe it in that, like, hey, do you want to increase your intimacy with your wife? Maybe you'll start reading a book.
Right. I think you're spot on, Ryan. I think that there's so many things that people could do. Maybe it is a Bible plan that you do together. Ours, the Bible recap that Ryan mentioned, you can start that anytime. You don't have to start at the beginning of the year, but there's a spot every day where you write a reflection. So that's what he's talking about. Not all plans have the part where you can leave a comment, but ours does, and that has been super cool. If you're reading a book together, maybe you find time to discuss. And I'll say too that a lot of the books, we read a ton of books for this podcast, and a lot of them have an audio version of that. So either through Hoopla or Libby, or is there another one? Of course, Audible, of course.
For sure.
Yeah, but like the free, we use the ones through the library, the free ones. So, it's kind of flipping a coin. Sometimes we'll find the book that we're reading on there, and then that's kind of a nice way to listen as you drive, just like you would with the podcast. Or I like to look at the book and kind of listen and follow along too. But that makes it a lot easier to read. Read larger qualities. And I think too, I'll say this, I think you have to stop saying that you're not a reader, because as long as you say that, you won't be. I think probably at some time in my life before, dating Ryan, I probably could have related to that, but it's a mindset thing. So as long as what's that saying? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Yeah. So if you're saying you're not a reader, then of course you're not going to be reading. But if you make up your mind that you're going to, then I think you'll see a change. When we started dating, you were reading, and you still do read a ton of books. I mean, some years you're in the 100 book range. I think the lowest that I remember you being at for a while was 80 books a year. Usually you're at 100. You guys, it's unreal, the number of books that this man reads. But look at him, look at his growth and how intellectual you are and what you bring to your marriage and how that flows out of you. It's because you're investing in yourself. So when I saw that, it did raise the bar, like I just talked about. And I was like, well, me too. I want to be a reader. I want to do this too. I want to learn and grow. So I made a goal to read 20 books a year. And I think for 5 years now, I've hit that. I don't remember what I started at, but the last 5 years, I think I've been around 20, 23 books. And, I will sprinkle some fun ones in just to kind of keep the pace up. I feel like if they're all super heavy, it kind of slows me down. But if I can sprinkle some, lighter hearted ones in there, it helps. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about this in life group. So we have a couples life group. We've actually kind of started breaking off where, we'll meet as couples one week, and then the next week that we have it, we meet separately. So us guys were talking about this, and the topic of reading came up, and I think what's really interesting, you don't have to read 100 books. I love to read. I love, I love information. I can read.
Did I get your number right?
Yeah.
What was it? I want to know. What was it last year?
I think last year was 91.
Okay. What was the year before?
105, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
pretty close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, I can read fast. I love reading. But we were having this conversation in our group, and it's really about, man, if you read one marriage book a year and it changes your marriage, wow. That's amazing, right? Yeah. And it's having that idea. If you can read, in this case, 12 books a year, 1 book a month, and you pick one thing from each book, that's 12 things that change your marriage.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. That's life-changing.
It is. Yeah, it's like you're going to a marriage conference every month, but from your living room.
Right. And that's both of you. You may not pick up the same thing. So like if you multiply that is crazy. The amount of skills, the things that you can learn in just a month.
Yeah. Do you think it's helpful for the husband and wife to read the same book together?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I think there's a unifying part of that where you can have meaningful conversations around that topic.
And you can almost have a date about that to discuss.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have interviewed a number of authors. So if you're wondering what book do I start with, maybe you scroll through our recent podcasts or scroll through, our whole list and just look for what episodes did you like, and maybe you read that author's book, because we've interviewed a lot of authors, a lot of fabulous authors. So on a variety of topics. So, okay. So we've talked about daily, you're going to pray and say, I love you. Weekly, you're going on a date. Monthly, you're reading a marriage book. And yearly, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Take an anniversary trip or a vision retreat trip. So get away. You're going to retreat yearly. These are so important for your marriage. Just get away. Get away from your kids. Get away from your jobs. It's not like your family vacation. This is a couple retreat.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do this really well.
Yeah. This was something, and I don't know, Michelle, I don't know when we decided this, but we do this every year for our anniversary. We've kind of committed to that, of this being super important, that we're going to spend the day together. Yep. And we're going to go out of town. We've always taken it off of work. We never work on our anniversary. Yeah. Ever. And here's, something that we decided to do. Again, that may not be right for you, but it's something like anniversary. We don't buy each other gifts. Like that is our gift to one another, of saying, hey, we're going to invest in our marriage by taking, like, getting away. Yeah. And that's just something that's worked amazing for us. And it's something we've done every year, minus one. That year. You know which year. I actually had COVID over our anniversary. On our anniversary. Yes. Yes. We catered some food in. I was super sick.
Brian was like, I don't know if I'm going to regret eating this food in like 30 minutes, but he's like, gosh darn it, it's our anniversary and I'm not going to not do something with you. So.
We did take a little, we had an overnight though, like I think like a month or two later.
I think we did, yeah.
But I mean, it's just something that we've worked very hard at, and it's very important to us.
I think it just takes away all of the distractions, like we talked about, kids, work, and it just allows you to focus on each other. It allows you to celebrate, allows you to look back, allows you to look forward. You can ask some intentional questions. What was your favorite thing that we did in the past year? What's something you're really proud of that we overcame? What's something proud of for how we handled? And then what does it look like going ahead? What's something that you want to do in the next year? What's on our vision board for our marriage? And how are we intentionally taking steps to reach that goal and that dream?
Yeah. I mean, all honesty, like this is my favorite. Like that is my favorite time.
Yeah.
Of just, and you hit it right on, Michelle. It's just, it's the time away that you don't have to worry about any of those other things. You can actually just focus on one another.
Yeah.
In your marriage.
Yeah. And I think, yes, spot on, Ryan. And I think this is going to look different for everybody. So if you're wondering, well, where the heck do we go? For us, when we were dating, we were super into running, even the first few years of our marriage. So we would pick our trips based on where there were marathons and half marathons. So we did Catalina Island, we did Nashville, we did Austin, we did Dallas, we did South Carolina, we did a lot of southern places because November in South Dakota does not really lend itself to running weather. So we would usually go south. But, we did one in Kansas the year that we had our son. Yeah. Oh, the year we had our son, we did a weekend to remember in Sioux Falls. And then I think the following year, he was still really little. So he was at home we left him at home with grandparents, but we drove to Kansas. We didn't want to be super far away.
Yeah.
There was a race there. So that's kind of how we figured out where we were going. But in these past years when we haven't been running, we've done, Ryan talked about the year that we, were here during the pandemic, but then we went, I think it was like a bed and breakfast that we went to. Mm-hmm. And then another year he was actually on crutches. So it was pretty difficult to travel. So we did a staycation. We went to the nicest hotel in our city. We took, I think, that Friday off of work, and we love to thrift. So we went thrifting. We had coffee. We just did all of our favorite things. We got coffee. So we went thrifting. We stayed at a beautiful hotel. We had a great dinner. And then I think after dinner, even though Ryan was on crutches, we went axe throwing, and he still kicked my tail and got bullseyes, and the guy working there was super impressed with him. But yeah, we just had a fun time. And I remember both of us thinking, it doesn't even feel like we're in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
Like we just kind of forgot where we were because we were so focused on each other and just the fun of it. And that was really great because we saved a ton of money not having to fly anywhere. And we just really tried to, just focus on each other and tune out, everything else. And that was in our own city. So what did we do? I'm trying to think last year. Oh my gosh, is that bad that I can't?
We were in Omaha. We went to Omaha.
Omaha. That was that's another great one for us. It's close to drive to. Yeah. We stayed at a really great hotel. Yeah. And we did Omaha the year before because we loved it so much. Yeah. We stayed at some great hotels, had great food. Again, went thrifting. Yeah. And those are kind of our themes, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But do what you love. Just go somewhere and do what you love. Get away. Maybe you guys are, into art, go to a museum, go to, a show somewhere. Really just the sky's the limit.
Yeah. I think it's, don't overthink it. Like,
that's good advice.
It can literally be in the city that you're in, or, even a neighboring city that's close, or a neighboring town. Like, the point is, like, for you to be together.
Right. Yeah. And it doesn't have to look like the examples that I shared. Right. You don't have to fly anywhere. Find somewhere that is just fun for you guys.
Right.
And go and do it.
Right.
Block that day off of your work schedule. Take the days off of work. Line up someone in advance for your kids. And just do it.
Yeah.
Start a tradition.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
We've loved it. That's great, Ryan. I love that. Get away annually.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Michelle, do you want to recap them?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So every day, I'm going to give you a pop quiz every day. What are you going to do, Ryan?
You're going to pray with your spouse and tell them that you love them.
I love you, Ryan.
I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Weekly.
Oh, are you testing me on all of these?
Yeah.
Okay. Weekly date nights.
Date night every week.
Do something special with your spouse.
Monthly.
Read a marriage or parenting book or something to grow together.
Very good. And yearly.
Trip away. The two of you.
Take a retreat. So good.
You got it.
Hey, there are those Weekend to Remember conferences all over the place too. That would be a good one
Absolutely.
For couples to do.
Yeah.
We did love our experience at that conference.
Yeah.
So very good. Well, what a great show, Ryan. Any final parting thoughts?
I don't think so. This is the secret sauce that is guaranteed to change your marriage.
The secret sauce. And we gave you the recipe because we love you guys. So we're sharing our secret sauce recipe. And Ryan, this has been a show that you said has been kind of percolating in your brain for a long, long time. We always kind of have show ideas in our head, kind of swirling about, but this is one that's been on your heart for a while. So we're so glad to just talk about that today. Great show, Ryan. Great concept, Pastor Reed. We'll give him credit for it again.
Absolutely.
And we hope that this really helps you to continue growing in your marriage relationship. So thank you for joining us today. And we want you to know that we have some resources for you at Celebrate.church/marriage. We are in need of mystery questions. So if you want to text one in, we would love to answer that live on the show. 605-951-0110. Additionally, if you don't have a church home, we would love to have you here at Celebrate. Our website is Celebrate.church. You can find our address and our service times, or you can watch live online under that link as well. And we did, in the month of February, we had a fantastic marriage series. So that would be a great additional resource for you, those 4 weeks of the laws of marriage. And we'd encourage you to go through those as well. So thanks for listening and have a great rest of your week.
Have a great week.